Hey, everybody, welcome to almost the end of the semester. It seems crazy. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want to give you a quick couple of notes that will help you as you are revising and submitting the final version of your APA paper. What you're seeing right now should be the main library's website. And I want to remind everybody of where to find the Word document template that you can use for APA formatting. Some of you are using an older version of APA, some of you are doing it yourself, which is absolutely fine, but you want to make sure that you don't lose points for silly things like spacing or not having a hanging indent on the references page, like all that jazz. So even if you don't use the template, I would look at it, maybe even print it out so that you can visually see what the paper is supposed to look like while you're doing it. If you click on the citation page, the citing page from the home screen, you scroll down and all of the information that you need for APA, of course, is below the MLA information. Now, the one that you want is the APA Student Sample Paper Template. That's the one to use for the paper. And I've got it open. We'll look at it in just a second. While we're here, though, just a reminder that if you, I don't know, don't have access to your Little Seagull handbook for some reason or whatever, you can also use this first link, the APA 7th edition citation guide, to get you some extra help with how to cite the resources. I also am going to remind you that when you are using library sources, which is what you should primarily be using in all of your academic papers, the citations are generally going to be given to you. So I'm going to pull one and then we're going to look at the paper template because I want to show you how to use those provided ones. So I am just going to do a random search for an article that we might use. Um, let's just do a disease oriented one. Let's do diabetes and causes. How about that? The general search, of course, is going to turn up a bunch of things, not just articles, but also books that I would have to go to the library to get, ebooks, which of course are available online. You can see some of those things listed right here at the beginning. But I'm going to pull an article for you. This one is a peer reviewed article. It even specifies that. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind as we are doing it. We've got a lot of different options, but let's click on this. And when we are in the article or in the database that is showing us the article, you will notice there's going to be citation generators or citation links. They may be in different places for different databases, and there's all kinds of things that we may be seeing it in a different place. Full text availability, we can click on any of those to get the article itself. And this, of course, is the library information. That's not the article itself, but that's the library information. In order to see the article, we would click on one of these. But right now, I just want to pull the citation. So I'm going to click on the citation button. And over here, you have choices, MLA, APA. We're obviously in the APA section, so I would click on that one. Now, right away, I see a couple of problems with the one that they've given me. One is that the author's names are in all caps, and even the article title is in traditional title capitalization, which we use for MLA, but not APA. So I'm going to fix that when we paste it into the document. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to my template, and I'm going to go through the template with you, but let's go down to the references page and put this in there. I'm not going to put it in the proper place capitalization wise because I want to sort it and remind you guys how to do that. So I'm just going to put it in between the first two. So let me click enter, and then a reminder that when you are pasting, if you want to keep the italics and all that stuff, you want to do paste special. I don't think it's going to do it. I think it's going to take everything out, but let's try it. Not bad. Got to back that up to the correct margin. We need to delete that extra space there. And then, like I said, we are going to have to take the capitals out of here. This was the article or the journal that needs to be in italics. So if we paste it and it doesn't copy over, you do want to make sure that you correct the italics. This is also a bit of a pain because we're going to have to do this for all of the names. Newton, Patel, Jacobs. They won't always be this way. Sometimes they'll be correct. But when they are not correct, it is up to you to correct them. And I forgot, Gapster. I knew I had a letter missing. Okay. Same thing with the title of the article. Remember, APA does not use the same capitalization that MLA uses. They use regular sentence capitalization. Now, worst case scenario, you forget to do this. You're probably not going to fail a paper because you have incorrect capitalization. However, you want to do it right. Okay, so you'll notice on this list, the rest of these are not capitalized. Now, proper nouns are, like Hogwarts. Obviously, Nora is a fan of Harry Potter. The other thing that we need to do is to remember that if we're citing websites, I want to remind you of a good website to use. In fact, let's go back to the internet here for a second and just Google causes of diabetes and choose any article, preferably one that does not have an author. I know the WebMD ones and the Mayo Clinics never have authors. So this is a website. We can certainly create our own citation using the the APA guide in the library or the Little Seagull Handbook. But I wanted to show you Scribr.com because it is one that does give free APA citations. EasyBib.com is probably the most commonly used, but it does not include a free version for APA, only MLA. You just put in the URL and click the article. And if there's any additional information that you have, usually there's not. We don't have an author, for example. In fact, we can click unknown, and then we can click on cite source. So with this one, you'll notice that the diabetes symptoms and causes is in italics because there is no author. So that first title is going to be in italics. And we've got the date, then we've got the Mayo Clinic because that's the website that it's on, and we have the URL. So all I have to do is copy it. I'm going to bring it back over here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it right there at the beginning because then we're going to sort them. Now, the good news is because APA doesn't use quotation marks, we don't have to take anything off to use the sort function. But let's sort this whole list. Oops. And remember, the sort button is right on the home screen of Word. We hit sort. I did not also highlight references, so we don't need the header row marked. And we just click OK, and it's still not right. I wonder if this has an extra space in it still. Doesn't look like it. So I'm going to cut this and physically, manually put it where it belongs. Don't know why it didn't sort for me, other than the fact that it was copied from the internet. But at any rate, now we are in alphabetical order. Your references page should look like this. Oh, no, we're not. Oh my gosh, that messed them all up. Let me try sorting again and see. That's weird. Most of them are right. Paragraphs, text, ascending, no header row. Yes. Okay. That worked. Have no idea why I had to do it twice, but even if you use the sort function, that's a good reminder to double check and look and make sure it's real. So there we have a correct references list. Notice that it has the hanging indent, which means that we can see that over here. The bottom triangle is over to the 1/2 inch mark. So that's the opposite of a paragraph where the top triangle is over by a 1/2 inch. Okay, quick notifications about the in-text citations. So one of the things that people had problems with on the, I'm going to go all the way back to the top, had problems on with the rough drafts and other practice in citing in APA was the fact that every time you have a citation in an APA paper, an in-text citation, it will have a year. If it does not have a year, if the source does not have a year, then it is going to have N period, D period for no date. Now, the reason this only has the year inside the parenthetical citation is because it actually lists the source, right? It says right here, according to the publication manual of the American Psychological Association, 7th edition official guide, has the whole title. You have only the year. And if it didn't have a date, again, it would say N period, D period. Now, if we had not named it, if we had just said, the APA calls for blah, 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 then we would have to have the title because there is no author. So publication manual and then comma 2020. Okay. So you will always have an in-text citation, even if you name the source. And most of the time it may only have a year in it. Here's an example of when it didn't have the year in it and it didn't name it. So you repeat APA in 2020. So always cite your sources both on the in-text part and on the references page. Those need to match up. If you have something on the references page, it should also have citations inside. What else? The punctuation goes after the in-text citation, not before. A lot of people want to put the periods before the in-text citation or the commas. So that's an important one to keep in mind. Always have a date or an N period, D period, and only use authors if they are actual authors. There was also some confusion about, in some cases, like biography.com editors, you would use as the author, but then you wouldn't make it editors, comma, B period. Same thing with the American Psychological Association. In MLA, we would not use an organization as an author. In APA, that's fine, but you're not going to call it, you're not going to make it look like someone's name. It'd stay APA. It would not be A, comma, AP. So no, last name reversing and all that stuff. All authors' names will be last name, comma, first name, or first initial, not first name. So that's a little bit different from an MLA paper as well. And that should give you some extra help and things to look for as you are polishing up your APA essays. All right. If you have any questions, don't forget, come check me. I will answer emails very quickly. If you have a question that you need to talk to me one-on-one about in person, I will be in my office hours on Monday. I know the papers due Sunday night. I would go ahead and turn it in, but then log into my office hours and ask the question. We can always resubmit it if there was something that needed to be changed. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you in the Canvas.